But someone that does shine solo is our girl Kacey Musgraves, dude. Her fourth album, Golden Hour. Her follow-up to 2015's Pageant Material. She had a Christmas album dropped in between then, which actually got really good reviews. This was, I think the best way to describe it is like stoner country music. She tried to, she's like really well known for being like a very smart writer in her songs. And this kind of went in a different direction where she went with like simpler lyrics, but she explored more with the sound. What stood out to you about this album most?
I mean, everything I find interesting about Kacey Musgraves has nothing to do with country music, or I guess the country music she makes,
Right.
Country today is kind of having an identity crisis with, the infusion and popularity of like, quote, bro country, right? Luke Bryan, Florida Georgia Line is kind of like dumbing down of the lyrics about partying and trucks and girls. It's very lowbrow, but it also sells out arenas in the summer, right? And then other artists have been criticized for dipping their toe in that, like Jason Aldean, etc. But Kacey Musgraves has openly, and not that she's alone in this, but she's openly kind of fought against that. But I think it means even more because she's a woman. Women have been marginalized in country music, always basically, and she's able to kind of stand out in spite of that and not let, quote, gatekeepers like keep her down. And this coronation's kind of been happening. I mean, she beat Taylor Swift for all those country music awards a while ago, right? Mm-hmm. And like she's kind of been and now she's like the darling of the gay community.
Yeah.
Because of was it Follow Your Arrow, that song, mm-hmm. which again LGBTQ people don't find a lot of allies in the country music scene, generally a more conservative genre that plays to people down the South, etc. Yep. Pretty obvious there. But yeah, I mean, so Kacey Musgraves she's kind of, I don't know, I feel like she's definitely the most unique and interesting person in the scene these days, I guess, besides like Sam Hunt. But like,
do you find Sam Hunt interesting?
No, I find the idea of Sam Hunt interesting because he's been able to coast on not committing to any sound at all. Mm-hmm. And like the whole like Drake of country thing, like Sam Hunt puts out Body Like a Back Road, a bro country song that's really simple and not up to his songwriting standards, and it's a fucking huge hit. And he played a ton of shows last summer off that, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea of Sam Hunt I find fascinating. But yeah, Kacey Musgraves, this new album, Golden Hour, I mean, it's probably going to be a top 10 album of the year, right?
It's
going to be on the lists.
Yep.
And I mean, country, good luck beating the country scene. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's quite good. And even if you're not a big country fan, it's kind of alternative country. And we certainly don't talk about country on this at all, this podcast at all. But, I thought High Horse is a fucking amazing song. It's like a Bee Gees style disco song. Like that's a pop song that happens to have like her country twang to it. Like I really love that. But yeah, overall the album is pretty impressive. What do you think?
Yeah, she has an ability on this record to make songs interesting with like the littlest like shifts to it. Like a song like Space Cowboy, like it's a very like almost classical country song when you think about it, because it's a breakup song. It's about like heartbreak and I can give you your space cowboy, but like the way she sings it and like just these little things, like she has like these little like snares and synths that like kind of pop throughout the song. They're kind of like, oh, that's really like interesting. And it's more about like just the overall feel of this album is very just like it's like groovy, but like you can almost like space out and just kind of like mellow out to it album, which kind of just fits her feel so perfectly. I definitely think this will be contending for the top 10 on my end of year list, if not making probably like the low end. I'm hoping, but this is, I think Kacey Musgraves continues to be the class act of country music, or at least the most interesting person in country music, I'd say right now. Yeah, I would also say Happy and Sad was a really interesting song to me, just because it's like so simply written. It captures such a real feeling that I don't think it talked about much, like that feeling of like being happy, but like also feeling like this underlying feeling of sadness that you can't really explain. And also shout out the song Mother, which she wrote during an acid trip. And her mom texted her. She's just a really like a cool chick. So shout out Kacey Musgraves. Really enjoyed that album.